Okay, so I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I feel like I talked about her recently. Do I really need to make this video? Yeah, no, I do. I looked and saw when first time I talked about this character. Yeah, no, that video is going. That video is going real quick. Anyway, we're talking about Saber Okitan. I'm going to keep my bias in check because I'm very, very, very heavily biased towards Charlemagne. I personally think he is a stronger pickup, but him and Okitan are pretty much in the same exact ballpark. Charlemagne technically has higher highs, but he has lower lows. Okitan is just consistent as shit. If you don't want to have to think about what you're bringing Okitan to, you can pretty much just pick her up, and she's gonna do pretty much the same type of stuff as Charlemagne. I personally think they're gonna do something about crit stars. Like if you have like a super high excess, something is gonna happen, but that's probably not gonna be like for a while down the line. So that's copium thought process. You don't need as many stars as Charlemagne can gen. You don't. Okitan is more than enough. Let us get started. First off, 12.4, basically 12.5k attack. Yeah, that is a lot for Sabers. That is ridiculously high for Sabers. That is like top of the class. HP looks about average, if not pretty low-ish for a 5-star. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of low. Star weight, Sergeant, normal Saber numbers, MP charge 0.67 with these hit counts. With these fucking hit counts. Oh my god. Okay. So she is just behind Koyanskaya for how good her arts card actually is. Because Koyanskaya has like 0.9% more MP charge. They both have a very similar deck. Like actually really similar. Hold up. Yeah, no, pretty much the same fucking deck. Okitan just has one more quick card. So if you've used Koyanskaya for her face card shenanigans, and keep in mind she's also fighting riders, so a little higher game there by default, but she would function pretty similar to Koyanskaya in face card performance. And despite Koyanskaya being a support, she does really good face card damage, really good, like good refund and everything. And Koyanskaya is definitely like power up crap. Like they definitely juiced her up. So Okitan being in that same ballpark for base performance, good. First skill. And you look at this and you're like, wait, what? Oh, why is this low? Yeah, no, that it's unfortunate, but 30% attack, 20% for Quick and Buster. It makes it so that this skill is your least priority by far. Get it to 6, and then you're pretty much what Ruler Scotty gives for her charisma. You're just gonna have to keep it there. This is not your most priority. 5% quick and 5% attack is not going to affect the refund. I can promise you, unless you are missing a single hit of overkill. It has to be a single hit. You're not gonna notice a refund difference. 5% shouldn't make that difference, but you never know. Second skill, 30% battery, so unlock mana loading. I should have said that from the start, but like, trust me, you want her as farming ready as possible. 50% crit damage for 3 turns, no duration, no hit based duration. Love to see it. And then a turn of star weight at 500%. Third skill, invo for 2 attacks 3 turns, and MP gen at 30%. She needs this. She needs this very much for any kind of quick looper. But unlike most quick loopers, you do not need, like, you shouldn't feel forced to level all 3 of these skills immediately, lure them ASAP. No. These 2, and your mana loading, and then this comes when it happens. God damn it. And again, that is more if you're starting from 0. If you're starting from 50, you have way more leeway. If you're starting with K-Scope, even more. Yeah, just lures are how it is, but definitely battery and mana loading first, then improve the MP gain. This is gonna need to get lured eventually, but more than this one. Passive debuff resistance 20%, independent action A 10%. I already talked about the mana loading. Kadroth actually brought up that she has Berserker Append, because I have stopped really checking this third append just out of habit, because most servants, it doesn't really do much. Mana loading is now better in general, since they seem to really be on this pattern. Battery to every single character that doesn't have a battery. Having mana loading makes it so that you actually have options from where you're starting, because there is no 70% charge CE. All you have is 60. Like, regardless if your mana loading is maxed out or not, you are still gonna need an odd CE in order to start farming with her. Like, if you can't get to 50. Extra attack, she's a farmer. She's honestly not going to be extra attacking that much. With Berserkers, it's like you don't really have many other options. It's really just these 2, because the third is useless. But for Knight class and like a Cavalry and even the extra class, sometimes it does matter. Like Hokusai, this should be the last thing you pull. And like, she'd want mana loading and then Berserker, because she's a foreigner. For Sabers and everyone else, they want Berserker because it just makes it so they get overkill a lot quicker. They kill instantly, all their hits are in overkill, or as quickly as possible. That 30% attack might be the difference, and since unlocking it is base 20, really unlocking it is all people really need. They don't need to max this out. If you get enough points for this, unlock it, but you don't put that much emphasis on trying to level it up. Like, don't use up all your mounts. MP, 8-hit AoE quick, removes all enemies' defensive buffs, deals damage to them, and this is why her base gain is low from her skill. It's because she gets 20 scaling from her overcharge. Unfortunately, it is only 1 turn. Now, does Okitan need this quick up to be permanent in order to loop? Fuck no. This girl like loops like crazy. Like, her and Charlemagne loop like art servants and can genuinely use Castoria in their setups, and like, yeah, they're not gonna get as much damage, but they don't need triple Scotty to be able to farm. A Castoria is a welcome substitute, and actually, if you choose to bring Castoria, it genuinely does fix some of the issues of you not having skills lured, because her battery is not block 50, it's split. If you have any combination of mana loading, skill level, any of that, Castoria is going to help, because if you need 30, she has a 30 battery. If you need 20, she has 20. Don't really use much of the arts, but you have more options to be able to actually loop without wasting charge, like having triple Scotties, because you don't loop. If you're looping like 70, you're wasting a whole lot of battery, a whole lot of it. Mats, honestly not bad. These are pretty fair. And then leveling, I'm just saying, like, her mats are not egregious. They aren't. Like, yeah, the reactor cores, but honestly, I have so many of them, like, I actually can't get rid of them. Like, I think it's because of when I started, which was like literally right after Lost Belt 4, but I've gotten like a lot of the recent servants that I'm not hurting on these. So, well, these. I'm not hurting on these. And this either. I don't see this map being needed that often. So her active skills fairly common, or like there's something you'd see in like lottos or event boxes like pretty often. So that might meet your requirement. Oh, pens. Painful right at the start. I don't know whether I'd be wanting to farm these or wanting to farm these, but like this is always painful because like every run you don't get one, you're like, oh. And there's a unicorn runs where you get 3. You're like, oh. But like it's never consistent, and you're still grinding there for like hours. Well, these are all, I'm always in the mindset, if I have them, I have them. I'm not farming for them right now because there's probably a raid or a lotto that I'm gonna be able to get a lot of these from. Yeah, mat requirements on a pen's not the best, but also not the worst. You do only need, realistically, one of these after you hit bond 6 for MP1. You'll need a second set at MP2, MP2 bond 9, but after bond 3, you unlock 2 of them by default. Bond CE, quick performance up, MP damage up. So here is the bias part. I prefer Charlemagne. I prefer him a lot more. Like his kit just gels. I just like it more. He also, I believe, has quick res down. So my issue with, and this isn't going to be a full breakdown on Charlemagne, but also hit counts similar, just not as heavy refund. Charlemagne has a lot of stuff in his kit, so in a boss fight, if it does go past 3-turn mark, so like past the normal quick looping strategies, he actually does better, because not only is he getting the quick res down for a boss, he also gets stacks. His MP gets more damage based on if he's hit or not. So if you're fighting someone with AoE, like Charlemagne is like what, like gets so much better. But if you're farming, yeah, no, he's not gonna show up as much. And let's go to damage chart before I end this. Right. So Okitan is higher than Charlemagne. That's fact. But Okitan has 0 in terms of extra damage. She doesn't have super effective. She doesn't have any power mods. Now, is that something that can be added? Absolutely. The original Okitan has Sky power mod, and she just got that buff. So there's always a chance that Okita or Okitan Saber will get like a power mod on one of her skills. If I had to guess, it would probably be the MP gain skill. They'd probably buff that and give her a power mod, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna need that MP gain. You're gonna need that invul in a boss fight anyway. So it would make sense that like that is one of the first skills you're popping regardless. Give it a power mod. Charlemagne, there's some stuff in his kit that would annoy a lot of people. Like he has an invul, but he can't put it on himself, otherwise he fucks himself over. So if you're not paying attention, you're gonna screw up with Charlemagne. So Okitan is easier to use, 100%. You don't have to think that much. Charlemagne, he can be annoying depending on, and like if you're not fighting demonic, but demonic is super common, you lose out on damage, and you need to get hit for him to start surpassing Okitan. But for me personally, I will get a single copy of Okitan if possible, just because I like the 3 stars. I mean the 4 stars too. And then I'm going for Charlemagne. I usually keep what units I get like MP2 or higher different across the servers. But I've used Charlemagne. I've used my god tier Charlemagne that's at MP3 and everything maxed out. He's an art servant at that point. He is functionally an art servant because he's looping 70+% every time. Like, that is art servant refund. I can't give that up. I just can't. She's not that much better than him. I can personally win. And then next year also Summer Scotty. So. And also next year, I'm not doing the same kind of grinding I was doing on my ult. I mean, on my JP account, because that account had to play catch up. I've already had the 2 years. I'm not playing nearly as much catch up on JP. It's gonna feel good. All right, that's enough from me. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.